Okay, today's video will be about two different topics, observations and inferences, and then we'll talk about two different types of investigations. So first are observations. An observation is any use of the senses to gather information. So if you touch, smell, see, hear, or taste something, you're going to get information, and that information is called an observation. There are two types of observations. First is qualitative. Describe the quality of the object or item. So it's an observation that uses words. For example, the boy has brown hair. You can see that he has brown hair as a use of your senses, and brown is a word that describes the boy. So that is qualitative. Another example could be the flowers are red. You see that the flowers are red. It's a description of the flowers that uses words. So it is qualitative. Second is quantitative. And it describes a quantity or number. So this will always have a number included. Observation that uses numbers. So the boy is 6 feet tall. 6 is the number. So this is a quantitative observation. Another example would be there are 12 flowers. 12 is a number that describes the object. So if it has a number, it's going to be quantitative. Next, inferences. An inference is a conclusion based on your observations. So you get information from your senses and you figure out, what does this mean? What is this telling me? So for example, since the boy is 6 feet tall, he is probably good at basketball. You don't know if he's actually good at basketball, but based on the information or observations you've made, you think that that could be true. So this is a conclusion that you've made. It may not always be right. With our flowers example, if there are 12 flowers and they're red, our inference might be the flowers are roses, because that's information we've taken in, and we think there's a good chance that they could be roses. You use your prior knowledge to make inferences. So the inference that two different people make can be different based on what they know. If you're from another country and perhaps they have red begonias, you may think that the red flowers are begonias, whereas someone from the United States may think they're roses because those are more common. So your prior knowledge helps make inferences, and it's going to differ from person to person. Next, we're going to talk about different types of investigations. We don't call them experiments, we call them investigations. These are 3 different types. First are descriptive investigations. These are very simple. It's an investigation that describes something. So you're just measuring or looking or observing things. They're very basic. For example, how much does the average hamster weigh? There's no experimenting, there's no testing. All you have to do is weigh the hamster and find out how much they weigh. So this investigation will describe the average weight of hamsters. Also, how long does it take a ball to hit the ground when dropped from 20 meters? All you're doing is measuring the time. So this would be a descriptive investigation. They're very simple, and they just describe something that happens. And lastly are comparative investigations, and these are a little more complicated. These are investigations that compare 2 or more things. So if you're testing the difference between 2, 3, or more things, it is a comparative investigation. Like I said, they're more complicated. They take a little bit more setup, and the investigation takes a little bit longer. So for example, which dog food will my dog eat more of? So this is comparing 2, 3, 4, 10 different types of dog food to see which one the dog will eat more of. So since you're comparing the different types, it's a comparative investigation. And second, which brand of bleach will get my socks the whitest? So you might be testing Clorox, the Walmart brand, the Target brand, etc. So you're comparing more than one brand of bleach, and so you're going to see which one gets your socks the whitest. So if you're comparing multiple things, 2 or more things, it's a comparative investigation.